Hey folks, Brannon Beliso. Are you living your best life? Welcome to another episode of Success Never Sleeps, sponsored by My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting. Hey, Brannon Beliso here. You living your best life. Welcome. It's Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Welcome to another episode of Success Never Sleeps. As you're coming aboard, let me know you can hear me. You got me over there, K1? You hear me good? All right. So, as you're coming aboard, put in your name. Tell me where you're tuning in from so that I know that you're here, because you're going to share this with as many people as you can, because at the end of this broadcast, we're giving away. What are we giving away? A 30-minute phone call with one of our sponsors, LC Accounting, right, out of South Carolina. Yep. And I want to start with that today. So as you're coming aboard, come on, quickly share this. Put your name. I want to see who's hanging. Who's hanging with us today? So let's thank our sponsors collectively, because they're all good people. They're all disruptors. They help me do what I do. But more than that, they're on the edge. And I like people that are on the edge, right? They're out there trying to innovate, trying to disrupt. They're not simply sheep being led to slaughter, following the norm. They are creating new and innovative things. And My Studio, one of our sponsors, I dig Tulane, the gang out there, out in Virginia, they're really putting it down. If you're looking for an app-based CRM system, there's nothing better than My Studio. Check them out. I think you dig them. Another one's LC Accounting. LC Accounting. There we are, K1. Let's bring that up, man. Took you a little long. Is that you and me? We're fighting for the slide because we love our sponsors. We got Kids Love Life Skills. Of course, we're moving into a subscription-based model, supporting you with social media. We have improved our support materials. Things are going on. I mean, we have partnership. There's just so many great things. It's taking a little longer than we wanted, but as I'm really learning, and I share that with people actively, great businesses are built over time. Things are built over time. Instant gratification, quick fixes do not work. Do not work if you truly want sustainable success. LC Accounting. Letitia and the gang out there in South Carolina, she's a bookkeeper, she's a martial artist, and she'll definitely help you get your numbers and finances in order. So thank you to all our sponsors of Success Never Sleeps. So I want to start with that today before we get into our questions. You know, you've been seeing a couple of posts floating around. We've been talking about the EIDL, the PPP, and the latest with the Employee Retention Credit Program. Okay, so let me back up, and I'm going to give it to you. So it started with the EIDL grant back when we first got shut down in April of 2020. Fundamentally, what that grant was $1,000 per employee that you kept working. All right. And they gave that to you as a grant because they didn't know what was happening with the PPP yet. They didn't know quite what they were going to do. Okay. Now, the challenge was if it said, would you like more money? And you check that lower box in the corner and you gave them a figure and they had you back it up. And then they gave you more than $1,000 per employee. Anything beyond that became a 30-year fixed at 3% SBA loan. That is not forgivable. All right. That is not forgivable. It's a 30-year fix. Most of it's no if you want to pay it off early, there's no penalty for that. And, you know, it's low interest. So people have been asking us because we've got our EIDL forgiven. And I'll share that in a moment. They've been saying, hey, can I get my SBA loan? No, it's not an EIDL anymore. It's an SBA loan. So if you have anything that is a 30-year fix, 3%, that is an SBA loan. Okay. It's not part of the EIDL grant. Boom. Then we got our PPP last year, I think in May or June, the first round for both locations. Immediately, the minute we got that PPP, that EIDL grant, which was just a Band-Aid, became a loan. It became a loan. And we started paying that in like September, October of 2020, $500 a month, right? It's a $10,000 loan. It's their terms. Well, guess what happened with that $10,000? Because I kept 10 employees on. So we got a $10,000 grant, all right, for EIDL. That loan for the EIDL of $10,000, $1,000 per employee, we kept 10 employees. Guess what? That became forgiven. So as of today, they no longer take $500 in a loan payment, and they're supposed to refund us back the couple of payments we paid for like $1,000. That would be great, right? That would be great. So, does that answer your question on the EIDL? Put anything in there. Hey, Sensei Mish, what's up, James? As you come aboard, say hi. I see people sitting up in the corner, but nobody's saying hi. Say hi to me. So, and ask your questions about this as we go along. So, your EIDL, $1,000 per employee, that became forgiven. Okay? That is forgiven. Anything where you have 30-year fixed 3%, that's an SBA. Done day. All right. So we got the PPP, right? The Payroll Protection Program, I believe it's called. We got that in about May, somewhere in there, April, May of 2020. So that money was used for payroll. You were supposed to use 70% of that for payroll. Write that down. 70%, because this is going to lead into a very important thing. 70% of that is payroll. Okay, that's how you were supposed to use it. The other 30% rent, different things like that, that's fine. But at least 70% had to go to payroll. And I'm going to tell you why. Hey, Letitia. What's up, Marco? James, Sensei Mish. So stay with me on this. All right. And Letitia, jump in. Correct me if I'm wrong. Any of those good things. Conrad. What's up, Conrad? Believe Martial Arts, Chipley, Florida. Respect Martial Arts, Agora Hills, California. Focus Martial Arts is here. The gang's coming in. So, our PPP in around November became forgiven, right? Because remember, this thing's pretty dynamic. They're changing things all the time. So, our first PPP was forgiven completely. Forgiven. But you had to prove that you use that money right, people. And because of all of the fraud and people misusing the first round, the second round of PPP has been a little harder to get. We just got the PPP for Millbrae, thanks to Letitia and LC Accounting. We got the PPP for Millbrae. Okay? Now we're still waiting on it for San Francisco, but hopefully we're going to get that. Now, last year they came out with the Employee Retention Credit. Okay. It's fundamentally a program that if you kept paying payroll to people and you did not have the PPP, they're going to credit you as in 2020. It's changed now, and I'll share that in a moment. The thing we need to realize, what did they credit you for? Right? What are they giving you money back for? From what I learned from Letitia and LC Accounting, it is strictly Social Security. So the Social Security you would have paid for your employees and the Social Security paid and the number the employer paid go together, and they're going to give that to you. So certain people that didn't get the first round of the PPP, they were getting that last year, as long as they kept their employees, right? The goal was, with all these different programs, were to keep people working. That was the goal. That was the goal. So now here we are, only Social Security. Yep. But that Social Security, Letitia, is the employees' portion they pay into the Social Security, and the employees' portion they pay into the Social Security, correct? So it's both sides. And the employer got both of those back. Am I correct in saying that? Or the employer only got back what the employer paid into Social Security? That's where I'm a little bit gray. All right. So as of January 26th, they've amended that. So even if you did have the PPP in 2020, they are going to retroactive cut you a check for 2020 minus the PPP, right? So let's say we got closed down March, but they're doing it by quarters, every 3 months. So for us, the way it worked out, we got, I think, 2 quarters in one location, 3 in the other. Okay. And then just know it's by the quarter. So because the way things fell, they closed us on March 16th. We got the PPP in May. We didn't qualify for that quarter, right? January, February, March. We didn't qualify for April, May, June. We didn't qualify for that because we got the PPP in there. So I think roughly we're able to send in payroll records from the time the PPP was exhausted. So anytime, employer only. Okay, great. So whatever I paid in as an employer into their Social Security, right? Into their Social Security, I'm getting back as a retroactive check for 2020. All right. For 2021, that's a different day. They're going to apply it as a credit. right? So if you use a payroll service like Gusto, ADP, Paychecks, real good. The records are there. You got to prove when the PPP was used. They're going to subtract that. They're not going to give you Social Security credit for that when the PPP was being used for payroll. Here's what I think is going to happen with that. And I kind of said it yesterday with talking to Letitia. I really believe what's going to happen is they're going to start red flagging people, because people, as greedy as they are, because it's human nature, are going to go, ooh, you mean since I had the PPP, now I can go get this money for the employee retention credit, get that Social Security I paid into? Yeah. See, the payroll company will do amended quarterly payroll filings. There you go. And that's moving forward, right, Letitia? Everything for last year, they're going to audit and figure out and then send you a retroactive check. And that goes straight to the employer. Now, for us, that can really add up. That can really add up and be a nice small chunk of change. What I think is going to happen is a lot of people aren't going to pay attention to that, and they're going to go in there, and now the government's going to find out people that were using the PPP inappropriately, because you submit this and they find out you only used 50% of that PPP for payroll. Not a good day, right? Because they're going to go in and look at everything you pay. Oh, the PPP you used from, let's say hypothetically, the quarter, January, March, April, May, June. You used it from July, August, and September. Say you used 50,000 for payroll. Hey, yeah, but we gave you $100,000 in PPP money. You only used 50% of that on payroll. Red flag, red flag, red flag. So be mindful of that. Make sure that if you're going to go back and ask for this employee retention credit, you better use that PPP right. 70%, right, Letitia? 70% had to be used for payroll. So are we good on that? Everybody clear? Everybody clear, but do not, just to summarize, you cannot go back and get anything on that EIDL if it says 30-year 3%. That's a freaking loan. The payroll company does all the back filings for you. Refund check for 2020, then credits on your payroll moving forward for 2021. Boom. Advantages of having a great payroll company backing you up. Of course, having LC accounting in our pocket is a good thing as well. Cool? So are we clear on that? And that's what we know today. Could that change tomorrow? Absolutely. We were paying this EIDL grant back, and then they told us they're going to forgive it. We got the PPP not knowing it was ever going to be forgiven, but we got it forgiven. And Letitia, when we did the PPP for the forgiven, didn't they ask for a bunch of financials and stuff to verify we used the PPP money properly to get it forgiven? Go ahead and put that in there. Yep. 70%. 70% had to be used on payroll. But in order for it to be forgiven, did we not have to offer documentation that showed we used that PPP money correctly? Go ahead and put that in there. So yeah, I know it can be very overwhelming. It can be very daunting, but if you keep at it, you keep at it. I've asked questions to like 50,000 people. I think I've asked Letitia the same question 10 different ways, just to be very, very clear. Very, very clear. Because my first thing was, wow, they're going to take care of my payroll for all the time, blah, blah, blah. And it's not. It's strictly Social Security. Payroll reports, rent ledgers, all that. Yeah. So be mindful of that. And if you want to get the PPP forgiven, then you better have it used properly. Because if you didn't, I tell you, I think going down the road, bank statements, payroll reports, rent ledgers, I believe this is going to come bite people in the ass. People that were fraudulent, people that use the money inappropriately, it's going to come back. It is going to come back, because there's people out there who use that money for the stock market, use that money to go on vacation, buy a car, all this crazy stuff, that didn't even come across my radar. But think about it for a moment, okay? Think about it. All right? The government's trying to help us, and then you're going to screw them by doing things inappropriately. You get in trouble for it, I'm going to say it. It's your own damn fault. It's your own damn fault, right? Unfortunately, LC accounting is my voice of it, and I don't behave that way. So it's not even an issue. Cool? Any questions about that, folks? Any questions? Any questions? We're good? We're good? All right. Let's get into some questions. What you got for me, K1? What's the first thing? And as you're coming aboard, please say hello. Tell me who you are. Tell me that you're here. Please share this with as many people as you can. As we grow the disruptors, as we grow this critical thinking, when I posted my video earlier, I said that. It's a group of people that get together that are creative, disruptive, innovative, trying to figure out this thing called life, as well as our businesses in this brave new world. And collectively, we'll come up with some solutions. But do they fit you or not? Only you can decide that. So ask those questions below. Share this. Share, share, share. And you might get a 30-minute consultation with LC Accounting. So what's our first question? Ralph. And Ralph is out in Switzerland. We love Ralph. He's a disruptor. We've really helped cultivate his brand into excellent martial arts. And I'm grateful to say that his school is still, dodging and pivoting and bobbing and weaving, and he's still open, even as Switzerland has really strict lockdowns like us in California. What week of information do you send to parents and members? Okay. Everything you post on Facebook or just the most important things, regularly or only when necessary. I say there's there's elements there. Once a month, we send an e-newsletter. Okay. That happens once a month. We do a nice e-newsletter with the most important things for that month of February, and that goes out at the beginning, the first week of every month. Second, I would say social media posts every day. Yeah, there's some type of social media post every day, whether it's the life skill we're working on, teamwork this week, with some, culture building things, brand building stuff, things that fit life skills, life skills, life skills. We have that element. And then we'll post things at Facebook like, hey, it's raining today, no outdoor classes. And then the third component I believe we use at will is My Studio. When we need to do a push notification or an email or a text, letting them know, hey, it cleared up, right? It could be 7:30 in the morning on a Saturday. Hey, it's good. We're having classes at 9 a.m. But I really believe it's dynamic like that. And it's going even further now because we're running Facebook ads. We're getting a lot of messages at Facebook for two reasons. One, it's tied into our website, right? You'll see in the little corner, the bot pops up. Hey, leave a message, talk to me, right? Like it's a chat bot. And so that's going straight to our Facebook business page. So we got to check that more often, more consistently. I noticed that over the past couple of days, since we added that feature a while back, we're getting messages straight at Facebook every day. Every day. So we're communicating there as well as our parents communicate to us through My Studio. So nowadays it's happening every which way. So we're checking so many different mediums. We're checking emails, we're checking push notifications through My Studio, we're checking messages coming at Facebook because it's tied into our website, and we're getting people replying to our Facebook ads through Slack. We're getting leads. So it's become just like social media. Would you only use Facebook as a platform? No. Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok for some of us, right? So it's all there. So that's what I think is important, Ralph, is to differentiate between who are you nurturing, right? Potential leads, new clients, and who is your tribe. I think that's more important. And if I'm giving relevant content to my tribe, they don't mind it. If you're someone that doesn't want to do business with us, people opt out all the time, right? They might have came to a birthday party a year ago. They were simply a guest. They fill out a waiver. We're sending them this information. Then they don't want to do business with us. That's cool. I used to be so bummed out when people opted out. Now I'm really happy they opt out because I don't want to be irritating people with our emails and our notices, right? Just not me. Cool. All right, next question. I just got my mat dots. How far apart does everyone do theirs? Middle of the mat. I have a small training floor, 6 mats by 6 mats. That's really small, 18 feet by 18 feet. All right, Sean. So here I have several different thoughts. All right. The first thought, you can still hear me good, everybody? I'm walking around. They got me good? Okay. My first thought is it's real estate. So my goal is to maximize that real estate. I would want to get as many people on those dots as possible, right? Because each amount of space, roughly one student, $30 a class, another student, $30 a class, $30 a class. Ideally, on my mat, I want 30 to 40 kids at $30 a pop. That's it. So if I can put 30 down there, that's $900. $900 times 5 classes in a day. That's $4,500 a day. Times that by 7 days a week. That's roughly $30,000. $30,000 a week times 4 weeks is $120 a month. $120,000 a month. There's my $1 million a year. I want my schools to be grossing $1 million a year. We do most of that on the mat. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, everybody? Kayvon's going, what the hell? Okay, let me try one more time. $30 per dot on the mat. Okay? 30 kids in a class. 30 times 30 times 30 is $900. $900 times 5 classes a day on average. That's $4,500. $4,500 times 7 days a week. We run classes 7 days a week. All right. 45 times 7 is 5 carried to 2. That's 30,050, right? Oh, I'm close. 3150. 31,500. Times that on an average of 4 weeks, 52 months a year. Just put 52. 52 weeks in a year, right? There you go. $1.6 million. Bam. Done. Done. So that's the first formula, Sean. And then minus expenses, I want to be at a 35% net. What's 35% net of that? Just so I make sure I'm on point. Yeah. 35%. Yeah. Cool. And that's what I want to be making. All right. So that's our goal. And this is a sidebar, Sean. This is a sidebar. As we're reevaluating our new business, we're looking at it. We do a 2-hour birthday party, 30-minute setup, 30-minute teardown. So roughly 3 hours. We found out as a company, we're profiting $100 in a 4-hour period. That sucks. And of course, we look at birthday parties as a way to generate new leads, but I think I could generate those leads better in another way. So if we do birthday parties, you're going to be paying an arm and a leg. It's a premium service, and I want to make sure I'm utilizing my talent to the best of their ability. And if I'm doing $900 an hour on that mat, I can pay people better. It's hard to do that when they're doing a freaking birthday party and I make $100 in 3 hours. It sucks. That sucks. So we're looking at all of this right now. We're looking at our after school, right? You want to maximize that mat space. Now, with that said, if you're working with 3 to 6-year-olds, Sean, please put them in a circle, right? Circle time. You ever hear that in kindergarten? We have circle time. Sit on the carpet. We're going to read stories. Remember that in kindergarten, K1? You ever have circle time? We all had circle time, right? So that is the most optimal. And I wondered why they did that when my son went to preschool. And as I was researching for Kids Live Life Skills for my drills and stuff, every study I read, child psychology, says put them in a circle. Don't worry about learning left and right hand at 3 and 4 years old. It's really the gross motor skills and all that. So putting them in a circle is more dynamic. So if you do work with 3 to 6 years old, which is unheard of in the martial arts to put them in a circle, trust me on that. I would never teach a kata or anything like that in a circle. It doesn't make any sense, right? Direction-wise and stuff. But with 3 to 6-year-olds, put them in a circle. Other than that, if you're deciding where to put those dots, base it upon the curriculum that you teach, right? If you do a certain form and everyone's bumping into each other, then those dots need to be further apart. But I'm more inclined to say, Sean, maximize your mat space. And then I would create drills. Where, like, the domino effect. Let's say the front row turns and down blocks, and we don't want them to hit the second row. So the first row, turn and down block. Second row, turn and down block, like the domino effect. There's so many drills you can create to prevent people from hitting each other or bumping into each other that will allow you to maximize your full floor space. Cool? Full circle, maximize your floor space. Yep. Oh, good. Good, Jason. Yeah, I saw Jason was going to talk to Sean Gilman about that. Very good. Very good. Especially if you got commercial rent. You want to maximize your floor space, not just time. See, that's why I think the big misconception comes in. People are looking to maximize their time. So, I mean, their space. So they're renting it to a dance studio. They're renting it because they can't handle with the down hours. But if you look at a really, really great restaurant, Sean, they're open for lunch and they're open for dinner. Are they concerned about all that time in the morning when nobody's there? No. That spot in between 2 and 5 when there's nobody there for dinner? No. Because during operating hours, during lunch, and during dinner, they're up. The revenue they're bringing in is amazing, right? Really, really great restaurants, they only open for dinner. How do you sit there in your clothes from 8 in the morning to freaking 5 o'clock. Yeah, they're prepping food and everything, but I think it's amazing that they really get that. They maximize how much money they make during those prime hours. It's the same thing here. And I learned that when I was a DJ. I wouldn't work Monday through Friday pretty much. But then weddings on the weekend, company parties, high schools, bar mitzvahs. On that weekend, ooh, I was making money hand over fist. And then Monday through Friday, I just talk to clients, do sales calls, things like that. You feel me? So I think we need to rethink that one, right? We want to show we're busy, 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 busy. So we always got something going on in the school. That's great when I first opened. When I first opened Millbrae, all I wanted to do was be busy. So we had stuff, even my kids and their friends were playing in here. We had stuff going on all the time. But once you're fully established, you got to think about you're paying rent. You want to maximize that mat space too and be bringing in as much revenue, highest revenue that you can when that floor is being used. Cool? All right. I know that's a lot of information, but it's great when one question can springboard into other things. You're a disruptor. My goal is to get you to think, right? Get to think. The challenge with one dimensional thinking is you never get this stuff. See, you never get all that good stuff. Here's the example. I'm reading a great book called Ranges. Take notes. Very important. If you think one way, right? My purpose, my why, this is it. I'm just going to mess you guys up. My why, this is it, right? This is it. Boom, I'm right here. The example in Ranges they used was this guy had a tumor, a cancerous tumor. Okay, here's the tumor. So the laser hit it from this side. The problem was it was compromising healthy tissue around the tumor, and it was splitting the tumor into chunks and wasn't getting all of it, right? So they go, shit, what do we do here? What do we do here? Now, stay with me. Are you with me? Give me a thumbs up. Tell me you're with me. So I'm not the only one crazy here. You guys with me? So what they did was a genius said, okay, well, the better way to do this is here's this tumor. We're going to take 1,000 lasers and we're putting it all around this tumor in a circle, all around this tumor. And we're going to bombard it and shrink this tumor inward so we don't compromise the healthy tissue. I think that's brilliant. That's brilliant. So what does that have to do with you as a small business owner? Everything. Because you think so one-dimensionally that you don't think outside the box. You don't think over here, over here, over here, over here, over here. You see this problem here in the circle and you go this way with one mindset, one dimension, one viewpoint. I like the variables. The variations in your thinking can save you a lot of money, can save you a lot of time and hurt, but it takes a little longer. See, we go to an ad company and go, oh, you're the end all be all. You're the cure for my whole business. No, it's not. Somebody came to me the other day and said, Kids Love Life Skills is going to save my business. I said, no, it's not. No, it's not. They go, what do you mean? You don't want me to buy it? I said, no, but I don't want you to think it's going to save your business. What do you know about numbers? Well, nothing really. My dad, or no, then you need to learn about numbers. What do you know about customer service? What do you mean? Oh, well, you better read this. What do you know about leadership? Oh, well, I'm a black belt. No, you're not a leader. You're a black belt. You need to learn about leadership. How about writing systems? How about designing curriculum? How about social media? You see where I'm going with that? Let's say success is this circle, right? We'll call it the cancerous tumor. This circle. You can't hit it one way. It's just going to break off and fragment. You're going to miss so many parts of that. You have to hit it from every side of that circle. And every side is social media, systems, leadership, growing your team, staff training, cultivating your brand, all of it, all of it. And if you're not ready to do that, I'm going to tell you straight up, you either suffer in mediocrity or you'll fail. That's it. Drop the mic. Okay. All right. So you see where I'm going with that? And as I'm reading through Ranges, because I've always thought this way, when I would write a hit song, I would write it in 5 minutes. And then I would spend probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days writing it 10 other ways just to come back to this was the best one. You feel me? Cool. Next question. Question. And I'm asking because I simply don't know. Hey, Isaac, it's okay. I don't know much either. And that's why I love learning, right? So, there's no reason to. I feels like that's an apology. No need to do that, sir. No need. I love it. Okay. So I know a lot of schools do extensive trials like 30 days for $20, free uniform and a money back guarantee, or 15 days for $15 and a free uniform and various other trials. How are your conversions on such long term offers? I have never offered anything such as long term trials because I believe that if a person doesn't know after one or two classes that we are the fit for them, then we are not the fit for them. Okay. I'm going to challenge you on a couple things, Isaac. First of all, I believe. I believe. Well, you know what? I'm not teaching me. So stop focusing on just I believe. Think what your demographic believes in. What do they believe in? Okay. There's the variable. It's not just what I believe, one point of the circle. It's what other people believe, especially my demographic that's coming to me. Okay, Isaac? Then here's the other variable, psychology, human nature. Let me ask this question. Tisha, you're married. Marco, you're married. Jason, you're married. How many dates did you go on, or how long did you have to date your significant other until you decided they were a keeper? Go. Put it in the comments. How long did you date your significant other before you decided they were a keeper? Okay? Anybody that's married or has a partner or whatever, put it in. Right? Put it in there. How long did you have to date before you knew they were the one? Now I know it's just martial arts classes, but I'm going to take you one way then another. Hey, what's up, Don? Don O'Neill. What's up, Don? Success Martial Arts. Help me out. Yeah, I know. Kids love life. Okay, 4 months. Letitia, 4 months. All right. Immortal Tiger, what's up, cat? About 2 years. Okay. Don's a little slower there. 2 years. Sensei Mish, the first date. Marco, 2 months. All right. I didn't even like my wife the first time, so we won't even get into that story. Jason, we dated for 7 years before I asked her to marry. But I say, when did you know? When did you know? You couldn't have dated her for 7 years unless you knew, right? Right? But look at the variables. See how many variables here? 4 months, first date, 2 years, 2 months, 7 years. There's no right or wrong in there, sir. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. But let me ask this next question. How long did it take you to decide you wanted to date this person and go further? Okay. See, and here's the problem. That's why anytime someone comes into your school, you're selling black belts, black belts, black belts. 4 years, black belt, black belt. You want to sign up, be a black belt. It's not that way. If you're asking someone to marry them on the first date, they're going to run the other way. So that's why I'm not into contracts and all the rest. I don't know when I knew, but we were together 4 years, engaged for most of that time, 25 years. But our first year and a half was 10 hours apart. Wow. You go, Jason. Oh, James, I knew when I saw her, but it took 15 years to convince her. I love it, sir. So think about that. Don't you pretty much know by the end of the first or second date if you want to date more, right? At least that. And we'll call that date month-to-month subscription in martial arts. Didn't you know after the first or second date that you wanted to continue dating them, right? We all know if that first date sucks, we're never going to see them again, right? We know that. We know that, right? So I do believe at the minimum to answer that question, but I'm trying to help you think in variables now, okay? Or as they say in the book, ranges, is that I believe at least one free class is in order. We do two things. We say you can come aboard and sign up for a membership. $169 a month for once a week, or $209 a month for twice a week. Your first month is discounted at $99 and you get a uniform. We don't have a 30-day cancel. Everything's month to month. So anytime you want to quit, let us know. So that's what we do. Right. A couple of days, right? A few dates, right? A few dates. So we all agree on that. So I agree with that too. I think a few dates is what you need. So what some people will come to say, well, we're kind of on the fence. Can't we just try a free class? And when they say that to us, we automatically let them do one free class. Then they can go into a membership and the first month is discounted at 99 and they get a free uniform. We find that works really well. Hey, Paul, you staying warm in Texas? I know Kat hasn't had water and her pipes are frozen. Lots of prayers for everybody in Texas. That's all I can offer you guys is prayers. But I pray that that cold spell, worse than a cold spell, like Kat said, hell froze over, right? And it's real awful out there for people. So all I can do is pray, and I've prayed a lot for the people in Texas. So we know after 1 or 2 dates. Do I think you should do 6 weeks? No. So but put his question back up there. So that was the first part. I believe, remember the variable, what other people believe in psychological studies. But listen to this. You get 30 days for $20, free uniform, money back guarantee. 15 days for $15, a free uniform and various. It sounds like a salesman, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Doesn't that sound like salesman? Could you imagine? And again, relationships, going to someone you want to date. Hey, here's the gig. I'm going to date you this today for 10 minutes. I'll buy the cup of coffee. And if it does really well, I'll give you a free call later on that night. And then if that works out, then what I'm going to do is next week, I'm going to take you to dinner and you only have to pay half the dinner. The other half will be 50% off. And I'll tell you what, I'll throw in a dessert. That date's over, huh? Is that date over? Put in there. Tell me, is that date over? Right? Oh, maximum martial arts, okay? How does your once a week program work compared to the industry standard twice per week testing cycle? Industry standard. You know what I say to industry standards? Stugats. That's what I say to industry standards. Okay, I think you got that like that. I don't think I've ever done that, huh? Come on, Stugats. Right? That's the Italian in me. Stugats. Okay. I don't care what industry standard is. It means nothing to me. What I'm out to do, Jim, is really cultivate something that fits my demographic. Tell me what your culture thinks. Here is our culture here. I take my kids to swimming once a week. I take my kids to soccer once a week with maybe games on the weekend. Everything was once a week, once a week, once a week. So I started scratching my head going, if the majority of my kids' programs I'm taking my own kids to are once a week, then I believe we might have some legs if we offer a once a week program, Jim. So we offered once a week. I don't care what industry standards are because I'm a disruptor. If I did industry standards, I would have belt testing, upgrades, contracts, the whole 9 yards. And I'd be a retail store, none of which we are. None of which we are. So for me, industry standard is a bad word. Bad word. All right. So the challenge with that, Jim, is that you have kids twice a week, you have kids once a week. I would ask the better question, Jim, how does that work, right, with your testing cycle, which is what you asked at the end? Okay. Once a week student doesn't spar at all. That's it. But to earn a black belt in our school, guess what? You have to spar at some point. All right. So if I'm a once a week student, I come on Monday for 45 minutes, curriculum, drilling. I come week number 2, drill, earn my stripe in class. Twice a week student comes on Monday, learns the curriculum, drill. He comes on his second day, Wednesday, his B day, spar. He comes back Monday, 45 minutes, drill, earn his stripe. He comes on Wednesday, spar. So now the once a week or the twice a week student is still doing the same amount of curriculum, Jim, right? 2 classes at 45 minutes a class, 90 minutes of curriculum drilling and stripe testing. It's equal. You see that? Because the twice a week student on their B day are sparring. Does that make sense? Who's with me? Tell me that you get that. All right. If you know off the top of your head, what percentage of your students are once a week versus twice per week? Just curious. We run around, I would say about 65% is twice a week, 35% is once a week. But because of that once a week student, that's how we grew our Sunday program, Kat. Our Saturdays and Sundays are packed, right? Even during the pandemic, our Saturday outdoor classes and virtual classes are packed. right? We're not running Sunday at this point because of the pandemic. But pre-pandemic, our Saturdays and Sundays were booked. And you know where I learned that? One time my kids needed to do a makeup swimming class. I took my kids to swimming on a freaking Sunday, Cat, at 7 o'clock. And I walk into this swimming studio and it's packed at 7 o'clock on a Sunday. It's packed. Because for a lot of parents, Monday through Friday, they're running the kids to school, tutoring, soccer, they're working, dinner, blah, blah, blah. They have no time to make it to your school. So that Saturday, Sunday time slot for a lot of people, rock. They rock. And that's how that all came to be. But do you see where that's coming from? Going back to Jim, it's not an industry standard. It's called being observant, being mindful, being out there in my community, being at a swim class at 7 o'clock on a Sunday, taking my kids to swimming, soccer, everything's once a week. So it all made sense to us. You feel me? Boom. All right. Jason, we love the structure of once a week and twice a week students. It's innovative, right? But of course, because people suffer from a fixed mindset, they simply criticize me. That's cool. It comes with the territory. But I will always look outside industry standards because that's a bad word. That's a bad word in my vocabulary. Cool? All right, next question. Boom, boom, boom. Man, we're rolling. Let me see if I can get through these questions. If not, we'll use the other ones for next week. Judy, Judy, Judy. Who said that? Anyone remember that? You guys are too young. Who used to say Judy, Judy, Judy? Who used to say that for the older people here? Anybody? All right. Are you sparring in classes? We haven't sparred since COVID hit. We're ready to start sparring and trying to think things through. A few questions for those who are sparring. Do you require students to wear a mask when they spar? Do you provide wipes for them to wipe down their gear afterwards, or require them to bring wipes, or not worrying about them wiping down their gear? Are you sparring but not having them do partner self-defense, which requires closer contact? Or are you doing both? Whatever input you have will help. You know, Judy, Cary Grant, Don got it. Yeah, remember Cary Grant? Oh, Judy, Judy, Judy. Man, I'm getting old. All right. So, Judy, my answer to that is I have no answer. You guys think the camera froze? It didn't. That's the silence. Because in that silence, Judy, you'll figure out what's best for you. To be honest with you, I see people out there rolling with no masks on, full out. Nobody's getting COVID. I've seen other schools, full mask, no sparring, nothing. People are getting sick. You know, there's so many variants. There's so much going on that we don't know about this pandemic. I'm going to ask you, Judy, talk to your insurance people, talk to your city and county, because at least if you follow all the rules and do what you're supposed to, and we know the COVID insurance, Beth Block will vouch for this, is being thrown out the door. It's no longer going to help. So that's even scarier. We paid extra for COVID insurance that now they're going to cancel across the board. And we no longer can have it. Correct, Letitia? Right? No, it wasn't Jimmy Durante. It was Cary Grant. Thank you, Don O'Neill. It's Cary Grant who said, Judy, Judy, Judy. Thank you, Don. So they're going to drop the COVID insurance. And I know most of you never got it. We did. Could we afford it? No. But I couldn't afford a lawsuit relationship to COVID, even worse. Because of the unknowns, Judy, right? Now that they're dropping COVID insurance, I want to know if I'm standing in a court of law being sued because somebody got COVID in my school, took it home, gave it to their grandparent, and their grandparent died as a result of that. As a human being consciously, I want to know I did what I was told to do. Because at least if I stand in a court of law, and the only defense I have is it's my first right amendment or my third right amendment to open my school. You can't stop me. It's against the law. That's not going to hold up in a court of law. All they're going to go is here's the precedent. We gave you guidelines. This was the order. You were supposed to not teach indoor classes. You chose to do it. Risk came with that. You chose not to wear masks. We told you to wear masks. We told you no contact. You chose to do it. Somebody got sick. Somebody died. You're liable for it. Done day. That's all I'm going to tell you, Judy. And that's why I would love to spar, right? We have it now. Letitia's saying we have the COVID insurance. Next policy will not be able to get it because there's too many variables. There isn't an insurance company that should have set up this COVID insurance to begin with. I think it was a quick way to make a buck. There wasn't enough data collected to decide this is a sound, amendment to your insurance policy for the COVID. It just isn't. It just isn't. So again, I know people who've done everything, cross their T's, dot their I's, Judy, and people got COVID. There's other people out there, no mask, full on rolling, grunting and spitting on each other and everything in jujitsu schools, and nobody gets COVID. So we don't know. But I do know if I ever get sued, that we're covered. Not just insurance wise, but we follow things to the T. We simply do. And that's just us. Ask Letitia. We're always talking to public health. We're always talking to somebody. And we think community wise for us, it is a better representation of our business in the community to be supportive. You know me, I'm always going against the grain. I'm a disruptor. I don't stand in line. I beat to the sound of my own drum. But when it comes to this thing, because it's so many unknown variables, we want to be the type of business that supports what's going on in our community. And that's our community. So, Judy, talk to your public health, talk to your insurance. And you know what? Poll your parents. Talk to your parents and see what they have to say, right? Somebody posted the other day, they shot off about the governor or A, B, C, D about and they lost a student and they don't give a crap. Okay, that's cool. But learn, don't discuss politics or religion publicly. Don't do that. I don't. I choose not to. Yeah, Sensei Mish. That's what my insurance guy told me. It was just there to make money off of people. Yep. 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 But you know what? I would rather, Sensei Mish, err on the side of caution when it comes to this one. Would if something happened while we have this COVID insurance, would I like to be able to go to my insurance people and go, hey man, I paid for this. Better be covered. At least have that. Or imagine standing in the court of law. And I at least can say, yeah, we have COVID insurance. Yes, we followed all the guidelines. We're always in communication with public health, blah, blah, blah. But they're going to go, you know what? It's not your fault, right? But what are your values? Follow what's best for you, Judy, and talk to the right people, right? Yep, yep, yep. Okay, yep, I agree with you, Letitia. No disrupting when it comes to COVID in our community. Every time kids or adults ask about sparring, I let us do sparring drills. Yeah, it's not forever, you guys. We'll get to spar again. Do bag work, do other things, all of it. But I mean, I can tell you we had this discussion the other day. I believe one of the reasons we're able to run 600 students online is because we have katas. And I know people hate katas. They're hard to teach. Nobody wants to learn katas, blah, blah, blah. If we didn't have katas, we would not have 600 members training with us online. Can't spar, can't do contact, can't do partner drills, right? So having katas is, I think, it made a huge difference in our transition from live to virtual. Next question. Wow, we got a lot of people here. Can you guys say hi? Come on, don't sit there in the shadows. You are part of this. Tell me who you are, what's the name of your school, where you're tuning in from, and share this thing. And you could win a 30-minute consultation with LC Accounting. Perfect time. Taxes are coming up in April. She'll help you get straight. She'll make you get straight. Okay, next question. Lisa, Lisa, Lisa. That's like Judy, 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 but a different version, huh? When when did you begin offering rotating curriculum? What do you love, hate about it? And honestly, something you feel it lacks from the traditional way of teaching. All right, Lisa, I'm going to get old on you. I've been doing martial arts since I was 5 years old. The only thing we rotated was maybe a round kick to your head. That was about it. So I looked at rotating curriculum as the death of martial arts because I was narrow minded, stuck in an old way of thinking and a fixed mindset. Okay. Because rotating curriculum, in my original viewpoint, was made so one person could teach more people and they didn't have to pay payroll. And it was bad service because you got one person teaching all these people. So pre-rotating curriculum, and vouch for me if anyone's with me on this, okay? You've got a white belt in class, a yellow belt in class, a brown belt in class, and a black belt. Because that's how we used to do it. There were no split classes and levels and da 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 da. No. So we all warm up together. We all do the stretch together, push ups, all that. Then I go, okay, white belt, here's 2 moves, practice. Okay, yellow belt, here's 2 moves, practice. Okay, brown belt, here's some moves, practice. Okay, black belt, you got to help teach and I'll figure you out later. So we were rotating. We were rotating. And I did that for years, years and years, years and years. All right, years and years. Then, when Roland Osborne, who introduced me to rotating curriculum, it's got to be coming up on 15 years now, maybe. So, what I got out of that was now I have 3 belt levels. Year 1 students, yellow, yellow, orange, and orange. Everything going on in that year is not too hard for yellow belt, not boring for the orange belt. So we rotate. I teach one thing to 3 belt levels, and it doesn't matter what they learn. They could learn the end of the kata before the middle of the kata, before the beginning. At the end, we put it all together. See, you're so fixated on the end result. I'm more about learning. So what do I hate about rotating curriculum? Nothing. It's been a huge, and that's why I invest so much of my own development into it. My last seminar was rotating curriculum 6.0. Right? I love rotating curriculum because the bottom line is we have more proficient martial artists that are more confident, more well-versed, and much better than the old way. Remember the old way? I mean, I posted the other day, it took me 12 years to get a black belt. 12 years. It was never about belts or stripes or anything. I'd walk on the floor back in the day and go, I'm tired tonight. Everybody put on sparring gear. Right? You know that. When your instructor's burnt out, it's just sparring all night. So now that we have this clear path with rotating curriculum and a parent can see it, then the child can be it. And if I see a clear path from white to black, we have curriculum videos. It's all written out. Cross your T's, dot your I's. Every 2 weeks, earn a stripe, pop, pop, pop. Every 3 months, belt test. We have it so dialed in that I believe it gives Joe E. Public, non-martial artists, a very clear path to success. Cool? Yep, look at it. It's all there. Everyone's telling you how great rotating curriculum is, how great the team is. Good. Modern Dojo in beautiful Colorado. Hey, Brandon Loomis. Lori Hunter Peterson. Hey, Lori. Hey, Lori, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Vincent, Flying V. I hope you've been cultivating your brand with Flying V. He was at our creating content webinar, and it was beautiful. Beautiful. We really helped his brand and honed it. Yeah, Ivan loves rotating curriculum. Sensei Mish. Sensei Mish. Good. Awesome. Did I miss anybody who said hello in the feed there? We got a lot of people who are with us. Scroll back a bit, K1. Take a look at that. I got Brandon Loomis. We always love to say hi to new people. Lori, welcome, Lori. Thanks for stopping by. Maybe you'll join us more. Cool. All right. So rotating curriculum is the bomb. It's really a challenge to take traditional curriculum and cultivate it. Just think, what do you want your black belt to look like? How many forms, self-defense, sparring, fitness, life skills, the whole 9 yards, and then cultivate backwards. That's all. That's all. When the day's done, everybody in my school probably does about 90% of what I did for my black belt in 1979. No, not kidding you. Not kidding you. We just put it in a rotating curriculum. Yeah. Yeah, especially for somebody like Kat, who's a one-woman show over there. Rotating curriculum is the only way to scale without a staff. Absolutely. 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 Next question, please. And again, all the people out there, please say hello. Put in your name, where you're tuning in from. You might win 30 minutes with LC Accounting. All right, next question, please. We're almost out of here. Is this my last question? Did I do? Oh, you already showed me that one. Was that the last question? Oh, okay. For your summer camp options for parents to pick up specific weeks, do you have them prepay for the weeks chosen or auto bill when those weeks come up? No, you want people to prepay in advance. Absolutely, Kara. You want them to prepay, especially with the COVID conditions. We might still be looking at this summer 3 weeks mandatory, pods of 14. That may be the way it's going to go. Hopefully not. The schools are starting to open up here. We know the numbers are dropping all over the country, so who knows? We just don't know. So right now what we're doing in our camps, we're getting to release it prepay, and you get a full refund if you don't use it. So just don't go spend that money. Put it in a separate account, let it sit there, hold on to it, give them a time frame. You have to, if you don't, I think we're going to set something like, I don't know, so many weeks before the start of camp. You have up to this date to cancel for a refund. After that, we'll credit it towards a membership or anything else. The big thing I think is going to end up happening is they're going to have to book 3 weeks at a time. So I think that's what we're going to push for. Buy it now, book later. Because think about it, nobody's set on what they're doing in summer, which starts in June. So when you do these pre-sales on your camps, we all understand, buy now, book later, or buy now and book and have the flexibility to change that, right? But again, it's all going to depend upon the order and what we're going to have available to us. Cool? The one thing we are making sure we do is that we're going to charge full price. Last year, we were charging $500 a week for day camp because we would have lost money. See, people were doing that last summer. I'm going, how in the heck can you charge your regular price for camp when you're only allowed 14 kids, when normally at $99 a week, you're putting 100 kids in there? You're losing money with 14 kids if that's all you're allowed in a social pod, right? So when we figured out we had to charge $500 a week. So the one thing we're doing different this year with pre-registration, it's going to be $350 a week. That is our normal base price, because anything below that, we're going to lose money. $350, 14 kids. We want to make sure that we're at least making some money off of that. So be mindful. And that's why we're analyzing all aspects of our business, Kara, because I don't want to be teaching and losing money. I don't want to be doing a birthday party and losing money. Tried to explain that to my son. He bought a box of cards for $400, right? I said, did you add in the tax? No, $30 in tax. Now we're at $430. Did you charge in shipping when you divided up this box to 4 different people? No, shipping's $8 a piece, $32. Now we're at $464. What did you sell that box for? Well, it had 24 packs. I sold it at this. He ended up losing money on the box. You see where I'm going with this? We are still in business, folks. And if you're doing things and losing money, you better really look at that. And camp was a big one last summer. People felt like they were busy, but most people were losing money on camp unless they did all the work themselves, right? So stop to think about that. Thank you for Laurie, Little Rock, Arkansas. New organization, so interested in what everybody does. Cool, Laurie. Well, again, grateful that you chose to stop by and say hi, hang out. Yeah, and it is, I'm big on systems, simple systems, because I'm a creative person. I'm out there in the variables, right? But as I always say, and for me, my head's in the clouds, but my feet are rooted in the ground. That's my yin and my yang. That's very important to me. Yes, I'm a dreamer. My head's always in the clouds. I'm a dreamer, but make no mistake, my feet are rooted on this ground. I know my numbers. I'm always scrutinizing things. I'm a business person, but I'm an artist. So art without discipline fails every time. An artist with discipline, potential is unlimited. Same thing here. Too many martial artists are simply artists. They only want to teach, and they want to teach whatever they feel like teaching, whatever way they feel like teaching, because that's their expression. I get that. But by having systems, disciplined systems to get you from white to black belt that a parent can see that's never done martial arts, retention 101, right? That's retention. If I have curriculum videos that are precise and accurate, age-specific, skill level, that's a retention tool. I have a highly trained team that can execute and deliver that curriculum consistently across the board. Every one of them teach the same because they've been trained the same. Retention 101. So that's how when somebody says, how do I get 10 new students? That's the wrong question. They go, what do you mean? The right question is, how do you close your back door? How do you close that back door to stop the 10 students you currently have from quitting? Retention 101. So retention is a big part of recruitment because we still know after all of this hoopla, social media, algorithms, reviews, blah, 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 blah. The newest fad is that they'll only charge you per student when they sign up. Okay? So I want to close with this. I'm going to let you go. All right. If What people did truly works. Why is it every so many months they have to change up, they have to change up, they have to change up, they have to change up? You know why? Because it's built on flimsy sales scripts and techniques. Greatness, a back fist upside your head, was good yesterday, was good 10 years ago, was good 50 years ago, was good 100 years ago. So, what we've proven in all the marketing, what is the best way to get new students? Tell me. What is still the best way? Tell me. Hey, Paul, what's happening, Paul? What is the best way to get new students? Anybody? Put it in, put it in, put it in. What is the best way to get new students? I'm waiting. Come on. What is the best way to get new students? The best way to get new students. Referrals, relationships, referrals. You got it. So we invest in that Disney experience and keep cultivating those relationships with our tribe, students, parents. Because if we create those relationships, meaningful relationships, your tribe goes out there and they will tell everybody. And that is still to this day, with all the different gimmicks of referrals and I mean, the different gimmicks out there of how to sell and this and that and this and that. When the day is done, what has stood the test of time again and 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 again is referrals. So that's where I invest. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I hope it does because that's why salespeople turn over every so many months. Your salesman that was there when he sold it to you is no longer there. That's why every so many months they got a new gimmick, a new way to market, a new way to sell because it's flimsy to begin with. It's based upon smoke and mirrors. It's based upon excitement. And even more so, it's based upon fear. Fear. You're afraid that the well's going to run dry. So you're always trying to replenish it with new students. And that's a vicious cycle. 10 in the door, 10 out the door, 10 in the door, 10 out the door. So you use all these marketing companies who has done that and find yourself in the same position student count wise a year later or a year after that or a year after that. And you've used several different marketing companies. And after several years, you're still in the same boat with 100 students. Raise your hand, put it in the comments if you can vouch for that. Who can vouch for that? You've used several marketing companies, right? Ooh, this sales technique new and shiny. This sales technique new and shiny. This sales technique new and shiny. And after you use all these different companies, you're still standing still in the same damn place. Anybody? Put it in there. Ownership, ownership. Oh my God, when I see people pay so many different marketing companies, yikes. Yeah, and Letitia and Elsie Accounting, she gets that with you guys all the time. You know why? You don't understand your why. You don't understand who you are. And even worse, you have no idea who your demographic is. And instead of trying to get to know how they act and buy, develop relationships with them. Yep. Yep. See, we all have those horror stories. Every one of us. That's when I turned to Apple. That's when I turned into Zappos. And I really said, okay, let me study culture. Let me study purpose. Let me study why. And Rudy Mick planted those seeds in me years ago. I really, really, even my own Papa school. 50 plus years in the same location every year, big Christmas party, food, all this culture, 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 why, relationships, right? Think about it. Yeah. Yep. And now, honestly, we're developing a relationship. We tried a couple of marketing people through this pandemic and it didn't work. We're working with a young kid, 21 years old, that we influence with our tribe, our culture, what we want. We ask the right questions. Marketing people never said to me, what's your why? Why do people come to you versus anyone else? No, they're too busy shoving stock photos down my throat, copy with emojis, and telling me it tested really well. One size does not fit all. And the goal is you tell your story, what's unique about you. Why do I want to come to you versus Joe Karate down the street? It's a lot more work, but as you learn, if you truly want to be great at something, you put time into it over a period of time. This quick fix, instant gratification stuff is why you burn through money, why you waste money, and you're still in the same darn place. I rest my case. Okay. All right. So let me thank our sponsors for today's show. Big hand for LC Accounting, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills. Boom, 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 boom. All right, lots of love. Where's everyone going to be this November? Where are you going to be? It's Time Live Change, right? In the words of Michael Jackson, make that change. And so it's a unique opportunity. We're going to release it this weekend. So those of you that want to come for the 20 spots, the 4-day experience, I've done these events for 6 years now. When was the first one? 2015, 16? We normally do them twice a year, but then we changed it to once a year in the pandemic, knocked that out last year. But we've done maybe 10 of them, 10 of these different events. Every time the 4-day experience books out, it's done. So first thing I'm going to release is the 4-day experience. Invest. Make that change. The world is going through dramatic changes, and change is the key to success. If you're not ready to change, stay home, because you will come and you will change. That 4-day experience, talk to Jason, Paul, Marco, Conrad, anyone that's ever done 4 days with me here, tell people what happens in that time frame. And it is, because it's not business, it is personal, it is relationships, it is team building, it is system design, it is curriculum, it's everything. And as the Germans say to me, you make my brain bleed. I will make your brain bleed. So get signed up for the 4-day experience. Cool? All right, let's talk about our winner. Who is our winner today of a 30-minute consult with LC Accounting? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Don O'Neill from Success Martial Arts. Don. What's up, Don? You are the winner. Connect with Letitia, and she's going to help you dial in maybe your taxes in April, maybe your finances. Maybe she can help you with the PPP. Maybe she can help you with the EIDL, or she can help you with the employee retention credit, right? Because we need some PPP. You know me. I'm down with PPP. Remember that song? Oh, that's OPP, right? That's OPP, but we got the PPP. We just got it for Millbrae, and hopefully we get it soon. The second PPP for San Francisco. That is our goal. Hey, I want to thank everybody today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. As always, I am Brannon Beliso. Until we talk again, you go out there, live your best life.